Today we're going to talk about the Flingza roller in Salmon. In this series I break down weapons and how to use them in Salmon. The videos are short and they don't cover absolutely everything about a weapon. I just aim to make you feel a little bit more knowledgeable when playing Salmon. Number 1. The Flingza is a middleweight roller that is one of the strongest weapons in its class. Its main strength is its ability to support two different roles depending on what you need. Either a slayer that seamlessly takes care of bosses, or a supportive teammate that clears paths of lessers and assists with objectives. Number 2. When rolling, the Flingza does 125 damage. This is second only to the Dynamo and allows the Flingza to easily crush lessers and inflict damage on enemies around it. Its flicks do different damage. The horizontal does a maximum of 200, while the vertical does a maximum of 300. The minimum damages from flicks vary depending on your distance, but generally, with a horizontal flick, the minimum will be 70, and for vertical flicks, the minimum will be 150. You have about 12 swings, either vertical or horizontal, before running out of ink. This changes depending on whether you continue to roll after flicking, but generally the ink efficiency of this weapon is okay. Like other rollers, your main strength lies in rolling with it, so turfing or throwing bombs isn't your main priority. I'll talk more about that in a bit, but generally speaking, look to using your main weapon more than your sub if you can. And like other rollers, you'll have a rolling speed and a dashing speed. The dashing kicks in after rolling for 1 second, so you're slightly boosted in your movement speed with continuous rolling. And finally, you can inflict more damage quickly if you aim your camera down after attacking. I speak more about this in my video about the carbon roller, but it works for all rollers. Just remember to keep pushing against the enemy whilst doing this. Number 3. Different bosses pose different issues for different weapons. With the Flingza and other rollers, you'll potentially struggle against bosses that have armour, such as scrappers. Having 2 or 3 of these chasing you can be problematic. Due to the slightly slow attack of the Flingza, it can be time consuming to beat bosses like scrappers, drizzlers and fish sticks. It's not that the Flingza can't defeat them, it's just that other weapons deal with them quicker, and the speed at which you kill bosses is an important factor to recognise when playing Salmon. Bosses that can be one hit or rolled are where the Flingza shows its strength. For steelheads, 1 vertical flick is enough to kill it. Big shots can be rolled against in conjunction with the first flick. Stingers are fine to deal with because, like other rollers, you can roll over the pots and tilt your camera up for the final one. Eels can be rolled against for quick damage because they don't push against you or resist the attack. Slamming lids and flipper floppers are easy for the same reason. But I would exercise caution when throwing bombs with the Flingza. Its ink tank can't support the requirement for quick, successive bombs, as well as other weapons, and takes slightly longer to recover ink due to its middleweight status. This also applies to fly fish too, so make sure you've got time and space to replenish ink if you've got no choice to be the player going for these bosses. Number 4. The Flingza allows you to flex rolls, which makes it one of the best rollers, in my humble opinion. For me, the role in which it shines is the support role. Its ability to roll over small frightened chum is incredibly useful to have. Think of waves like Rush, Grillers or Mudmouse. As a Flingza, taking care of the lessers and being a defensive wall in front of your teammates is excellent and allows your team to focus on other objectives. The Flingza pairs with almost any other weapon because of this reason. In your comp, you'll likely have better painters, faster weapons and stronger slayers, so more often than not, the best way you can use the Flingza comes from the support you can give. However, if you find yourself in a comp where the Flingza might have the best killing power or be the strongest painter, then you'll face no issue stepping into this role if you take note of the weaknesses we mentioned earlier. The Flingza's vertical flicks have great range that allow you to hit multiple targets at once and also paint a route to move through. Its horizontal flicks are able to be spammed for a short time to deal with immediate threats, and this allows it to live through situations should you know when it's time to move on. It isn't a bad painter if you have the ink tank spare and can help the team with map control. After flicking, it's useful to continue a roll to ensure you're putting paint down, crushing lessers, or being a defensive wall that protects you against enemies. You'll face pushback and likely bounce off of enemies, but this is something you'll need to get used to and incorporate into your movement. My point is that as long as you have the rolling action activated, you can inflict damage and survive and escape situations that you might not be able to if you stop rolling. I hope this video helps you appreciate the Flingza a little bit more. Let me know what you think. I will see you soon.